Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Afifi and Zarina.
Hi.
So, and all my fellow colleagues, hope everyone's staying safe. I'm very glad that we have today's session. I have invited two guest speaker, Afifi Chan and Zarina, who are the former COVID-19 patient, who are very kind enough to share with us their journey in battling the COVID-19. I understand that this COVID-19 pandemic, we heard a lot of stories about in terms of what the things that KKM has done, the frontliner. Some story can be quite scary as well. So today we will have a good opportunity to hear directly from the Zarina and Afifi. Afifi, who is a geology scientist from a oil and gas, very established oil and gas company, while Zarina is a journalist from a local, very established newspaper company. So before I start the session, first, I would like to share a few ground rules. Please mute your mic so that we have a very smooth session to run through. And at the same time, we will have leave 5 minutes at the end of the session for Q&A in case you have any questions for Zarina and Afifi. Before I start the session, I would like to play a video which was done by Afifi being interviewed by the staff. Sufyan, over to you. Can you play the video?
Oh, trust me, I tried to negotiate with the doctors. I feel like, you know what, I don't have a symptom, why don't I just stay home? I feel so scared. I feel like, probably I'm gonna be bad in this quarantine center, not because of the virus, but because of all the facilities thing. But then when I came in, everything seems pretty contradicts from what I have found online.
The Malaysia Agro Exposition Park, or MIPS, in Serdang was converted into a COVID-19 quarantine and low-risk treatment center last year. It was reopened last month following a spike in positive cases. Images shared on social media seem to portray that all was not rosy there. Muhammad Afifi Chan bin Mahadi Chan, who's currently being quarantined there, said he was initially prepared for the worst.
But I went on Twitter actually to do my research. They said it's packed, and then we're gonna be sleeping on the stretchers. The toilet is dirty. There's no charging port. So I'm prepared for the worst. I'm like, you know what? Just stay here until I recover. 10 days is nothing. So when I came in with that kind of negative research, it happened to be like everything is really contra from what I have found online. When the door opened,
The 30-year-old technical executive said he will never forget the welcome he received upon arriving at the center.
have you seen Maze Runner? Like when the lift comes up, when it's open and everyone is looking at you. So you're like, alright. It really feels like Maze Runner. I don't know if it's the right things to say, like they are really welcome you. First, they will take you to the doctors and the doctor will ask if you need any medical assistance. Then they will bring you to pick up all your stuff, like your bed sheet. They will guide you and until you found your bed.
According to Afifi, the center is divided into 3 halls: A to accommodate foreigners, B for Malaysian women, and C for Malaysian men. Hall C has about 1,080 beds and about 40% is currently occupied.
Today, on my 4th day, you know that there's more people coming in, right? There's still empty beds here, and you don't really feel it's packed because it's huge hall. I don't know about the other halls, but for hall C, you still don't have to queue for the toilets, and also we still can walk around. I still can do my brisk walk in the hall.
The facilities at the quarantine center include Wi-Fi, sufficient charging ports, and 24-hour air conditioning. Hall C has also 6 washrooms.
The toilet here is very clean, and every morning there is the contractor will come in with full PPE and clean all the toilets, and then the food is delicious so far. Up until today, I never heard about any test case here. I feel safe to leave my phone charged at the charging stations.
The only downside is that there are no water heaters for the showers.
Yeah, so that's why we don't take a bath in the morning.
Afifi said even though the center has a clinic, the doctors and nurses will do their rounds to check on the patients and distribute medicine. He added that most patients will spend their days socializing with one another, watch movies, play board and card games, read, and also exercise.
Afiq, you know, that's one of the things that people misunderstood out there. They said like we have like a routine here, like what time you should bath, what time you should eat, what time you. The only routine that we have here is what time they're gonna serve the food. The rest, you are free to do your stuff. You know, what time you want to sleep, what time you want to wake up.
What he likes most is the people and the feeling of togetherness. He said frontliners were friendly and the patients gave support to each other. Afifi has been tweeting his experience of staying at the quarantine center since January 7th and has since gained traction.
When I first do it, I do it on my private Instagram. It's for only for because to kill my time. And then one of my friends told me that, you know what, this is a good info and you have a lot of good footage and everyone should know about what is happening inside. There's not much people talking about first-hand experience inside there. So I said, like, all right, I will post it on Twitter.
Afifi advised the public to verify their sources and not to be lax with the SOPs set by the authorities. He also lauded the frontliners as they are doing their best to take care of the patients and reminded the public not to take them for granted.
Stay away from the virus.
Thanks to the video. So as what I've just introduced, Afifi Chan and Zalina, how I get to know them basically is because they are very kind to share their experience in the. For Zalina, she has an article in the NST, whereas Afifi share in the Twitter. So because of their generosity in sharing their experience, I managed to reach out to them, and straight away they say yes, why not to share my experience so that more people will learn and get to know about the experience and what to expect in the Malaysia Quarantine Center. So without further ado, I'm going to start my session with the two of them. So again, I'll encourage everyone to mute your mic, and throughout end of the session, you're free to ask any question to the two of them. So to begin with, hi Afifi and Zalina, can you share with me your experience in how do you get to know that you're infected from the day when you need to know to do the test, and what happened, what did KKM do until you'll be asked to go to the quarantine center? Maybe Afifi, you want to start first?
All right. First and foremost, hi everyone, and thank you for inviting me. It's a big pleasure to actually get to talk about this. So first, about the questions, how I got to know that I'm positive. I got a symptom on 29th of December, which is not a good time to actually get the symptoms. I need to celebrate my new year. Then on Saturday, I got to know that someone from my one of my family member is diagnosed with positive COVID, and I'm a close contact. Thus, KKM called me to set an appointment for my swab test, and I did my swab test on 4th of January. And on 6th, I've received the unfortunate news that I'm positive. I've been called by a doctor, not an officer, but a doctor, called me who ended my case and saying that I'm positive, and he gave me like a 1 hour advice on how the procedure going to be, because when you receive the news, the first thing is you're going to be blank. You don't know what to do, right? So he spent 1 hour to walk me through on what I need to do on the contact tracing, because they need to know who's my close contact. And yeah, on the same day at night, they called me again and told me that I will be going to my apps for my quarantines, for my 10 days quarantine. Even that they prepared me well. And yeah, about the symptoms, on 29th, I at first on the night before I'm totally fine. I don't get anything. But when I wake up in the morning, I have a very bad sore throat. So suddenly, it's so sudden, and that clicks in my mind like, oh wow, so this is something not new, so something not normal. So I directly isolate myself and I went to the clinic and then told them like, I don't know if this is normal, but I get a sore throat, wake up this morning, and then eventually it gets to a cough, and yeah, I have a muscle pain. Yeah, so that is my symptoms. I don't have fever, so yeah.
Thanks, Fifi. What about Zalina? What was your experience?
Okay. We got a call from in your WhatsApp group. We were told that our brother was positive, whom we met during a funeral on the 17th December. And during the contact tracing, our names came out, and then we were told to do swab test on the 31st December. That was already on the 14th day, but we obliged, and then we went. I was told that the result will be out on the 4th of January, but still no result. And I waited until on this every day I'll call on the 5th, on the 6th, and was told to wait 3 more days, and then it was quite frustrating. But then on the 6th evening, somebody called to tell me that my result was invalid and was told to do another one. So on the 7th, I went for the second test in a private hospital. And on the 8th, a doctor called. Before that, it should be out in 24 hours. So I waited and I called the hospital, and the hospital said that if it's negative, they will email me the result, but it's positive, somebody will call. Then my phone rang and I saw the name of the hospital. So I said, oh, okay, so it's a call, it's not an email. So I picked up the phone, and then the doctor said, okay, this is Dr. Ravi from this hospital. We want to tell you that you're positive. So I said, oh, okay, positive. So what should I do now? And he said that you just wait for the KKM to call you and just stay put at home. So I waited, and 5 days later, KKM called. 4 days later, KKM called to inform me that I was positive. And then the next, on the 12th, a doctor called to do contact tracing. It was very thorough. I really respected all these people. They call and very patient, because I don't have that kind of patience to talk to people and explain from A to Z everything, every detail. So she explained everything, and then she said she is going to arrange an ambulance. I told her that I don't have any symptoms except for muscle sore, and then she said because I on medication for hypertension and I'm staying alone, so it's best that they take me to Mike's. So on the 13th, 3 o'clock, ambulance came to fetch me.
Okay, so if I hear both of you correctly, meaning that after you did the swab test, it was the hospital that called you to confirm that you tested positive.
Yep.
And then you need to wait for KKM to contact you again, to advise whether you need to go to the quarantine center or the self-quarantine. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then two of you happened that was asked to go to the quarantine center.
Yeah.
For Zalina, because you have the hypertension, they will
Yes.
they advise you better to go to the quarantine center so that you will receive the special care. Correct?
Hypertension, and because I'm alone.
Because you are alone.
Yeah.
So they are worried that nobody take care of you at
Yes.
home. Okay.
But they did say that during this home alone situation, they say that what if the fever is very high, above 38, or suddenly I have breathing difficulties, I just need to call the ambulance. Other than these two things, I should just wait for the call for the next move.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really impressed from what you guys just shared with me. The call seems like was from the doctor instead of normal help desk. And they
Yes.
spend hours talking to
Hours.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. So for you, I know you're staying alone, but for Afifi, I know you're staying with family. So
Yeah.
while waiting for the ambulance to come and pick you up, I heard that you actually spend about 1 to 2 days at home. So how did you do your self quarantine since you're staying with your family?
So I did my swab test on 4th, and I got to know that I'm positive on 6th. But when they call for the swab test, automatically you need to self-quarantine yourself. So you cannot go out because you already wear your pink bracelet. so you cannot go anywhere. So I even at home I'm self quarantine until when they tell me that I'm positive. So my self quarantine is that it's pretty hard because when I got to know that I'm positive, at the same time I get the news that one of my family member is negative in the same house. So and we are sharing the same toilets, the same kitchen. So it is much more difficult for me for self quarantine. So I'm just staying in my own room. Luckily, I have my own room, and then my mom will come and place the food in front of my door, and then for the toilets, so all that is negative or they haven't got their results yet, so they will use another toilets. So I will use that toilets, but also I'm carrying the sanitizers and everywhere I go. So I just whenever I use the toilet, I will spray, I will sanitize, and then yeah, that's what I will do. I try to minimize my contact or with my family member, although they didn't get their results yet. But yeah, so we still need to be careful in case they are negative. Probably we will be transmitted during that time. So yeah, so that's what I do, and then luckily I still have food that been served at my door by my mom. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe KKM will advise you what to do during self-quarantine as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's go into now, share with us about the quarantine center. So Afifi, maybe you want to share with us, since you have taken the video, you're being interviewed, maybe you can share with us the experience in quarantine center, because we heard a lot of story about the MAPES, right? A lot of time not very nice story, but based on the video that we just saw, seems like you're quite enjoying yourself in the quarantine center. Why is that so? Yeah. What are the not true news that the people that like us have been seeing that you may want to correct us? Yeah.
Right. So like I've mentioned even in the videos that I've did my research with my friends on Twitter. They send me a lot of articles and pictures of the MIPE quarantine center, and at first I got to know that the MIPE center is actually to the center for foreigners. So I'm like, am I saying with foreigners? So that's going to be weird, you know. And then that's not going to be comfortable, and they said I will be sleeping on the stretchers. So I was like, all right. But when I think back about that I will be, if I quarantine at home, it's going to be difficult for the rest of my family member that is negative. So I was like, all right, I will just survive these 10 days. It's nothing. So I went there with this negative research on my mind. And yeah, they say the food is going to be cold and not delicious, not tasty. And then, but when I went there, when I first came in through the door, it feels different because I'll be sleeping on the bunk bed, and then from the pictures, people tend to see that it's very close to each other. But actually, we have ample space for ourselves. But yeah, you cannot expect privacy in this hall. But at least you have a place for you to sleep, which is for me is comfortable enough for me to undergo my quarantine. The toilet, people say it's going to be long queue and it's going to be dirty, but everything is pretty, like I mentioned it's pretty different than what I found online. So that's why when I came in, I do it with my friends. So I just wanted to show it to them, and then eventually the post went viral and everyone got to know how it looks like. So even the treatment by the frontliners, even from the cleaners until the doctors and the nurses, is very, very kind. I didn't face any kind of rudeness like people say or negative treatment from them. So yeah, everything seems pretty contradict with what I found online. So probably that's why I'm being very positive, because I prepared for the worst. So yeah.
Okay. So what about Zarina? Is it? I mean, I believe for the ladies, they have your own female section, right? Is it same as what Afifi that has described? Clean. The frontliner are actually taking care of the patients very well.
Yes, the female patients are placed at the hall B, and there are a few areas, and we have a place specifically for the foreigners. Like what Afifi just said, that is very clean. But I must say that the cleanliness is up to us, the patient. If you want to have your area, private area to be clean, and then we took our own initiative to clean our stuff, our area. The toilet is very good. Given the fact that there are thousands of people in the hall, you, even though you won't find dry cubicle, but it's very clean for you to use. And then the food is nice, and frontliners, I must say that I really respect their commitment to their job, because the way I look at it, they treat us like we are their first patient of the day. They are full of energy, full of zest, and then they didn't dismiss us because it's already the end of their shift. So they just entertain us like we are the first patient of the day. So like what my niece told me is like indoor camping with the friends. That's how the situation is. Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean that 24 hours there will be doctors, nurses
Yes,
around the?
there will be doctors. Like Afifi just said, they make their rounds in the morning or in the evening to disperse medication for those who need medication. If you complain you have sore throat or cough, they will come and give you cough syrup. Otherwise, you are up to do whatever you like.
Okay.
And
So,
for me, because I have hypertension, every morning I have to go to the station for the blood pressure machine to take my BP reading. That's it.
right. So meaning that the doctor will have the records, the medical records for every single patient. They will know that which patient require what medication. But
Yes.
if you do not have any symptoms or whatnot, do you still need to take medication?
No, no.
So you just need to go there and sit, rest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rest.
and the reasons why it is good to mention that the reasons why they place us in the quarantine center is that because of the 24 hours standby nurse and doctors, because the symptoms is like viral fever that you get. Normally that it will come suddenly at night, normally when your body is very, very weak. So that's when it attack. So why they would put us in the quarantine center? Because of the 24 hours nurse and doctors. So you will get treatment, prompt treatment, so that your symptoms won't be prolonged. Let's say because one case that I see that it started off like me. I don't have any symptoms when I admitted, but then he suddenly from level 1 he developed his lung was infected, so he developed from level 1 to level 3, and automatically he start to get pneumonia, and then he start to cough, and it's really terrible. So the until they have to refer him to the hospital because they don't have the equipment to actually treat him there. So yeah, that is one of the motivation why they put us in the quarantine center at the first place. Yeah.
Okay. So meaning the quarantine center is more for patients which have mild symptoms. Those
Yeah.
that
Yes.
Yeah, so those that who require maybe the oxygen, the ventilation, they may need to stay in the hospital.
Yeah. They
Okay.
have it, but it's only for temporary use or only for the first aid situations before they get to refer to the hospital. Yeah.
Okay. So how long were you in the MAPS that before you were asked to that you can be discharged?
All right. So I think I'm much longer. I'm staying there for 7 days for 1 week. So yeah, so that's why I get to experience a lot. And then because how they calculate it is going to be 10 days after your swab test, from your swab test. So I did my swab test on 4th. So I was scheduled to discharge on 13th of January. That took into case if I don't develop any symptoms on the 13th. If I develop the symptoms during my quarantine, so I need to extend my stay there. So that's how it works in the center. And it's also good to mention as well that how they treat us, that the motivation behind that 10 days is that they believe that the virus gonna be dormant after 10 days, so it won't be infectious, so that after 10 days, all after we discharge, we cannot infect others, even the infection level in our body is below 1. So during the quarantine period, they won't do swab test every day because the swab test is just to identify the presence of the virus. but and the virus gonna stay in your body up to 3 months. So even if they do swab test every day, it's gonna be positive. Even until today, if they do swab test on us, expression COVID, we still have the virus inside our body. But what they actually monitor is the infections level or the CT level. So if the infections level is below 1, that means we cannot transmit it to other people. Although to any medium, we cannot transmit it into others. So that's why it's also dangerous to us because if we are exposed to a new variant of COVID, then we will be infected and it's gonna be worse. All right. So, but if the same variant like me, I'm a COVID A. So if I get the COVID A, I will be immune to that. I cannot get it anymore. Yeah. But if I'm exposed to B or the COVID UK, that gonna be worse to me myself because I don't have the antibody to actually attack that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Afifi. So meaning that how long you will need to stay in the quarantine center is start counting from the day you are tested positive. And
Swab test.
before your swab test or before your swab test done.
My swab test is on 4th. So 10 days for my swab test. So it's on 13th. So I discharged on 13th January.
Okay. So before you discharge, you need to go through a test, but not so much of testing your COVID virus, but on your infectivity. It has to be below 1, then only you can be discharged. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I think you also have one short TikTok video that you're going to share with us, right? Sufyan, can you play the TikTok video that you about the center? Or am I right? Sufyan? So it looks like everyone are working together to make sure the place is cleaner.
Yes. So, like what Zalina have mentioned that the cleanliness of the hall is up to us because the contractor will only clean the toilet because they want to reduce or minimize the people that is like the frontliners in the red zone. So yeah, so that's why the cleanliness is up to us, and that is actually a good video that I found that I recorded during my stay. That also I learned something new. That every action is a ripple, right? So why not we just drop a positivity and it will make a ripple rather than we drop a negativity. So that actually shows that at first it's just the one boy and the uncle who do the cleaning, and eventually many people start to clean the hall as well. So yeah, so it's a good experience that I get, and I learned a lot during my stay in MIAPS as well.
Thank you for the sharing. Okay, so now both of you have already been discharged and back home. Can you share with me how are you feeling right now? Do you have any side effect or any lasting health effect after you recover? And yeah, any different do you see yourself before and after? Maybe Zalina, you want to start first?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, I'm better now. Even though I can still see that I'm still struggling to, because I walk every day. My pace is not as better as before, and I still have muscle pain. It comes and go, and the first 2 weeks after I was discharged, I have this quite severe fatigue because I usually full of energy throughout the day, and I can do a lot of things. But after I was discharged at 3 p.m., I just need to lie down and do nothing. Uh, Thankfully, Alhamdulillah, I have a friend. He sent me a multivitamin, and it really helps to curb the fatigueness. And for my breathing during my exercise, I just keep going, push myself to make it better every day. And other than that, I'm okay. Alhamdulillah. Life is back to normal. I'm back to work. I'm in the office now. So it's okay. Yeah.
What about Afifi? Do you still, yeah, do you feel any different or still feel tired or do you have any side effect from COVID-19?
So, like what Zalina mentioned, I get it too. So, because the COVID will be infecting your lungs, your respiratory system. So, I'm not as fit as before. Even to go upstairs, because I'm living in a double story. Even to go upstairs, I will feel a bit short of breath. And then I've tried to jog. I cannot up to the same pace as I did before. So yeah, you and then during my first like 5 days after discharge, I still get the muscle pain, and also sometimes suddenly I get my body will feel warm at night because because I mentioned that the virus is still in your body. So just that it is just mild. So when it's warm, that means your body is trying to fight the virus. So that's why it's become warm. Right. So that is also the question by Michelle Louis and also Wanu Nuraida. So Wanu Radia. Yeah. So our life is back to normal now. So after we discharge, basically we are back to our normal life. I continue work. Luckily, working from home. So yeah. Just in terms of health, in terms of physical, yeah, we need to train ourselves we need to train our lungs and our cardio to get back to where we were before. And like my parents, my parents also diagnosed positive with COVID. So after discharge from the hospital, they have appointment with physiotherapists to check on their lungs capacity as well. Yeah.
Okay. Were you given any advice from the doctor that what you need to do so that you can uh, recuperate fast, regain to recover fast? Was there any advice given by the doctor? What do you need to do or any medication to take?
No, but the doctor advised me to stay another 10 days at home quarantine before I can go out to office or outside. And but she did say that I just need to take a lot of to take vitamin C daily and drink a lot of water. But I did receive advices from my friends to take ginger, lemon, and garlic. So I've been taking ginger and lemon drink every day and roast garlic 6 cloves every day. That is on top of my other vitamins. Yeah.
Okay. Since, I think a lot of people still have a lot of skeptical against people who diagnosed with COVID-19. What is your personal experience? Do you encounter any social stigma out for being a COVID-19 patient? And any of you that have this kind of experience?
Yes, unfortunately, it came from my close friend. I know she has. I honestly I do not blame her, but um, uh, it's quite sad. It's actually quite sad. When it happened the first time, it really hit me. She wanted to send food. The intention was good. She wanted to send food, and then we were close, like 20 years kind of friendship. So the mother cooked food for me, and then she asked me to send food. I told her I can come and get the food from her, knowing that I won't infect her anymore because I already completed the first 10 days. So the mother said no. Don't ask her to come. You send the food to her, and then don't touch her. So the mother, she told me what the mother told her, and then when she sent to the house and she sent food to the house, she did not give the food to my hand. She just put the food on the wall. So I was quite a bit frustrated and taken aback. I know she wanted to protect her family, and I think I will get this kind of treatments from others as well, or I think others will also get this kind of treatment from the circle of their friends. But yes, it's good to be cautious, but for me it's like this: if you want, you know that you want to help, but you do not want to go far. You do not want to. you have your limitation. So you know your border. Don't go ahead, and because the approach is, the intention is good, but the approach is not.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just need to
Yeah.
know what you can do, what you want to do.
Mm.
Don't go more than, don't go beyond that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess sometimes people are ignorant about the infectivity, as what
Yeah.
Afifi
I
said.
just
Yeah, they may thought that, oh, as long as you were a COVID
Mm,
patient, they worry that they can be infected, but in
yeah.
actual fact, you are actually the safest person because you already had it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about Afifi? Did you have similar experience?
No, my experience is pretty different than what Azalina has experienced. So I have a very good neighborhood. So when I discharge, I'm staying alone because my parents, I'm staying with my family, right? So my parents have not been discharged yet. So I'm staying alone at home. So one of my neighbors actually texted my mom and said that she's going to send food for me. So she actually came to ring the doorbell, and then I told her from my door, I said like, yeah, just hang it on the gate, it's fine, I will take it. And but she said like, no, take it now, I want to ask you. And then I just go to her, and then she said like, don't worry, I'm well aware about the infectivity level, and she also on my social media, and I've already posted and made people aware of this, how the discharge procedure gonna be. And then she said, yeah, this is one of the effects when you spread the awareness that I'm aware that you cannot infect me anymore. So don't worry, just take this food, and what you want to eat tonight, I will cook again for dinner. I'm like, oh, so it's a bit different than what Zelina have facing. And also, even my friends keep on asking me, even if they are living in when I went out is PKP, so people cannot cross borders, right? Or they cannot cross the district. So my friends, a lot of them are staying in the different district. Even them asking like, do you want some food? We can send like Grab, or I can come. I can go to your house to send you food. I can get my the permit from the police to actually send you food. I said like, oh all right, I can call Grab for myself. Yeah. So that is the I don't face any stigma like Zarina did, but a lot of people approach me on my social media, talk about the stigma that they are facing, as they are also COVID patient. So yeah, I cannot deny that there's a stigma out there, and I think it's more of people are not aware of the infectivity level and everything. So that's why I hope that when I share today, all the Ipsos employees will be aware of the infectivity level and not the swab test. The swab test is just to test your presence of the virus. But after you are present with positive, after you are diagnosed with positive, the only how they will check your infectivity level is through your blood. So yeah, my parents, as they are been placed in the hospital, yeah, so they have to be they have to do blood examination every day to check their infectivity level. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks. So from the story that both of you have shared, right, I can feel that you have been through a roller coaster emotion from the day that you're being informed that you're tested positive. And then I think one of you also shared that worried about, going to the quarantine center because of the negative research that you have done. And then from there, it is not through the case, and then after discharge you have experienced social stigma experience and so forth. Can you share with me what were the emotional challenges that you have gone through, and how did you bounce back? What did you do to get yourselves back to the normal? Yeah,
Right.
maybe Afifi, you want to share yours? Yeah.
Yeah. So when, like I mentioned, when I got the unfortunate news, the first that come into my mind is guilt, because we always think about what happened to my close contact. I'm kind of afraid, and if I transmitted the virus to the close contact. But fortunately, all my close contact is negative, so I'm quite relieved. I got the news when I was in the quarantine center. After I got the news, I can focus more on my recovery. And then I think how I bounced back from the guilt, and also I of course I feel guilt towards the other people. Trust me, when you ask all the COVID patients, the first thing that they have in mind is the guilt they have to the other people. They won't think about themselves, but they will think about the others. What if they transmit? Because for us, we know that we will fight to recover it. But how about the rest? Because I'm staying with my family and my sister have a 8 months old baby. So I'm thinking about the other people, like my family especially, and they also become my support system. They told me they are the one who bounced me back. They said don't worry, just focus on your recovery. Although it's not coming from me, I'm not the one that bring the virus. I'm not the first one. The close contact, my family member is actually a frontliner, so she's the one who took the sampling for COVID test, so she got it from there, right? So yeah, I cannot blame her because she's a frontliner. So even that, so that's why we become supportive. She feel guilt as well. She feel guilt as well. So that's why I told you guys that the first feelings is the guilt. So when you got to know that people are feeling this guilt of being positive with COVID, try to calm themselves, like support them and say like, no, don't worry, this is not, things gonna happen when you want to happen, right? When it's happened. So don't be worried. Just focus on your recovery. And then yeah. And now I'm back to normal. So yeah, don't worry guys, you can recover if you are positive. But during that time, just stay away.
What about Zarina? Yeah.
For me, the worst part was the first quarantine while waiting for the result. Because it's like it's uncertainty. I've been pushed to wait another 3 days, and not knowing whether it's positive or negative. There was like it was for me as a mental torture. Every day I will get up, take my shower, and bring my coffee, sit at the balcony, stare outside. I did that every day, and but when I got the second result and the doctor said, okay, Zarina, you're positive. I said, oh, okay, positive. For me, I was not, I was not shocked. I was not panicked. I said, okay, bring it on. I need to get this over and done with. So if it's negative, I can go out. If it's positive, I will overcome this. So for me, the worst part was the first 10 days. And then in my age, I used to go out camping because of my work. So meeting strangers. I'm a bit introvert. To be in a hall with thousands of people is quite overwhelming. But I used to be outside because of my work. So for me, I welcome the idea to stay in the quarantine center instead of staying alone at home. And after my ex, the stigma, but then she's my good friend. I know her intention. I know it, not everybody can accept the disease or whatever the problem as something positive. So for me, it's okay. I There's only one thing that she did. The rest, the other things that she did was like super. She's an awesome friend. So I'm not going to pick on her because of that one thing she did to me. So yeah, I think what we need to know is, beside being positive, like Afifi said, you have to be positive, but you need also to be realistic. You can be a positive support system to your friends or to your family, but the first and foremost thing you need to know to be is realistic. I have a good friend. He's very positive guy, and he keeps saying that, oh, you're fit, you're healthy, you will suffer alone at home. You don't need to go to my apps. But we all know that going to my apps or not is beyond us. So for me, it's not a good advice. He needs to be realistic. So I know he's trying to bring me up by telling me that I'm healthy and fit, but everyone has to be realistic. So be realistic. So if someone has to go to my apps and scared or worried, what we need to do is that we can overcome this. What don't kill us, make you stronger. Whatever he gives to us is what we can bear. So yeah, positive, realistic, and cautious. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. What I just learned from both of you is I think staying positive is the crucial thing. And also to get the support from friends and colleagues is also equally important. Thanks. So before we go into the Q&A, I want to ask both of you one advice that you, or one comment that you want to give to my employees. What will be your advice or feedback? Yeah.
You
Right.
start being positive, yeah.
Stay positive. What
Yeah.
about Fifi?
Actually,
Right. So first I would say that try, like I mentioned, try to stay away from the virus first. You need to follow SOP. Try to stay away from the virus. Stay at home if there's no need for you to go out. Even if the government allow you to like it's PKPB now. So if they allow, if there's no necessity, just stay at home. Quarantine yourself. I mean just stay at home. And then if you got it, then you have to stay positive. It's not just positive with virus, but also positive in terms of your mental. Because when you got the virus, it's gonna challenge your physical, but more on your mental. So you need to stay motivated, right? Told yourself that there's only 1% of death now in Malaysia. So be in that 99%, right? Don't be afraid of being that 1%, but focus more on being that 99% and recovered. And then also, I stay positive in your mind, and also try to stay away from the negative comments. Try to stay away from posting any negative comments online, because they're going to affect everyone. In any topic regarding out of COVID, right? Try to post everything that is. If you have nothing good to say nothing at all, right? And then especially towards the frontliners, because we are facing it directly. We have the first-hand experience with the frontliners. They are very tired. They work 8 hours shift in PPE, so you can imagine how tired they are. But they still didn't dismiss us. They still treat us really nice, as you can see in the videos. And whenever I posted online, it's more on to show how the treatment we get online, and also the environment inside the hall that make us positive. We cheer ourselves up because we want to stay motivated. So guys, if you know somebody that is diagnosed positive with COVID, give them support, right? Give them a good words for them to actually at least feel, even take care is good enough for us, right? So be a good support system to everyone out of your in your company, or out of your companies, right? So and last, one more thing, just stay away from COVID. Just stay away from it. It's not really nice to get it. Trust me. As much as it's enjoy to stay in the quarantine center, but just stay away from it.
Thanks. Okay, I think let me look at the Q&A part. We are going to Q&A question. So let me look at those questions being posted in the chat box. Okay, I think first two questions being posted by Michael and Nura has already been answered. I think let me go through. So there's another question from Arun. What company can do to support employees who are COVID patient? Based on two of you have gone through that, what will be your advice? Is there anything the company can do to support the employees if, let's say, anyone infected COVID-19?
I think the allowance to extend the another 10-day quarantine at home is very good. Even though the letter we were given a letter saying that we are fit to go to work the next day. But because of the advice from the KKM, this doctor, she personally said that I think you should stay another 10 days. So when I called my HR and then informed her, and then she said, is it black and white? I said, no, it's just a phone call. And then she said, okay, just stay at home another 10 days. And then even after the 10 days, she asked me to make sure that I am no more symptom like no pening or anything, that I am really fit to come to work. So I think that is the best support, the first support that a company can give to the staff. Yeah.
Okay. Fifi, any suggestion to the companies?
All right, I know that first what companies can do is actually, if someone is diagnosed with if one person is diagnosed with COVID, probably you can probably support the swab test for those people who feels like they are not fit. Support them first because this is the good for your company as well, right? I know that everyone is working from home, but those who needs to be in the office, try to support them in terms of the swab test because swab test is not cheap. It's like
It's not cheap, yes, correct.
250 for one person. So some people might think it's expensive and some people can afford it. So probably companies can give that kind of allowances to support for the COVID test. Yeah. And then the second thing is the support, especially among the colleagues. One, if after we are discharged, know that we are not back on our feet yet. So when and although we are working from home, try to understand that we cannot be in the same pace as what we have before our quarantine, you know. So try to give them a baby steps for them to catch up all the works because they are away from 10 days for quarantine, right? So yeah, try to give them support in terms of that. Try to understand that they are not on their feet yet. Like me, after I discharge, I directly the next day I work from home. So I'm not as fit as I'm not in the momentum yet. So gradually I pick up the momentum and try to pick up back all the stuff that I left. So yeah, try to support in terms of that, and also moral support is the most important because I understand because monetary wise I know that there's a lot of restrictions. So but at least give them the moral support that they need. Yeah, the monetary the best monetary that you can give is the swab test.
Okay. Okay. One more question from the chat box. Were you given a list of things to bring or not to bring to the quarantine center? If yes, what kind of things will not be allowed in the quarantine center?
Yeah. So because I'm staying 7 days, so I bring a lot of stuff. So I mentioned the doctor called me the night before the ambulance picked me up, and he mentioned that the hall gonna be so cold. So you need to bring sweaters, and also you need to bring socks, enough food supplies. Like they give you 3 times a day, 3 meals a day. But you know, if you are a supper person like me, you need like Maggie or bread. So bring that. If you want to bring your own pillow, that would be great because the pillow or the bedsheet that or the what you call it blanket that they give probably won't be enough for you. So probably you can bring. Don't worry to bring like a whole luggage like 40-inch luggage or 45-inch luggage to the hall. It's fine. You can bring your own pillow. Bring some games. You can bring your own laptop. But always make sure that all your belongings is on your own risk. So like I mentioned, recently there's a theft case in the quarantine center. That's the first case that I heard. So yeah, during my stay, it's very safe. There's no theft case during my time. So whatever you bring, there is no guarantee that it's going to be safe. So it's on your own risk. The restriction is that try not to bring drugs and no gambling. You can bring cards, but just play around and not gambling. And also, yeah, you can bring whatever gonna kill your time. Like some people brings like stitches that they can stitch in there, and books. Yeah.
Anything to add, Zalina, other than what Afifi has mentioned?
Yeah, I was not told what to bring. As usual, I usually travel light. So when I went in, I realized that I can bring a lot of things. Hence, the reason why I wrote the story is actually to tell that the story is actually to tell that the place is very good. You just need extra things to make you more at home. Because of the temperature, it's very cold. You need to bring warm clothing, enough warm clothing, and then the food is good, but they are scheduled 3 times a day. So in between meals, you'll be very hungry because you're cold, and then you have nothing else to do. So your tummy start to do their own stuff. So you crave for things to eat, and you need to bring out something to do, and then the last thing is you need to bring a lot of sense of humor and open-mindedness. Yeah, but saying that lucky for me, because I didn't bring anything. the rest of the patient, they know what to expect, so they bring a lot of food like tidbits, snacks, and then next to my bed there's a box. Everybody who were discharged, whatever left that they have, they will put in the box. So it's like it's for everybody. Whoever can just come and take biscuits, bread, and even kaya or 3-in-1 coffee. So it's there in the box. So lucky for me, I did not go hungry while waiting for the meal to be served.
Okay, great. We have one more question from the chat box. You mentioned the virus will stay in body or system for 3 months. Do you need to go back for any screening after this period? Any possibility of reinfection from same COVID strain, or you would be 100% immune? How many strains are there in Malaysia?
All right. So because I mentioned this, so the first one, do we need to go back for screenings? No, unless you have your symptoms like get worse. Probably then you will be infected by a different strain of COVID, right? So then you need to go for screenings. But during this time, it is fine. If you feel like me, if I feel a bit warm, I will just take a Panadol and yeah. And the fever will come, the warmness will become down. It's not fever, it's just a warm sensation that you feel. And then also the second one, any possibility of reinfection, like I mentioned, it is called immunity, right? So if you have the virus inside your body, it still have in your body after, in the 3 months, so you won't get the virus cannot find host inside your body, so you're 100% immune to that COVID strain, like I mentioned. Like me, in the letter they will mention what strain you are infected with. Like me, a COVID A, so I know that I'm a COVID A. So that's why you need to always be careful. Although we are immune, that doesn't mean that we can go out without wearing mask, because we don't know what the other people is carrying, probably COVID B, you know. So we still need to be careful like everyone else, right? Although we are 100% immune, but yeah, we need to still be careful, and we cannot get the same infections from the same COVID strain, right? But after 3 months, if the virus have left your body, then you need to think again. If you right, and then how many strains are there in Malaysia? As far as I know, until now, we have COVID A and COVID B and also COVID UK. COVID UK is the new mutated strain. That's why you always read on the news. DG Hisham always mention like we have detected COVID UK strain, and then they will be isolated because they don't want to be transmitted to other patients. So that's why even in quarantine center, if you have COVID UK or COVID B, you will be isolated from the rest, because the first COVID is COVID A. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, we are running short of time already.
Yeah.
Any more questions? I'll take one more question before I like to invite Arun, our country manager, to say a few words. Any more questions from the ground? That feel free to just unmute your mic to pose your questions.
Yeah, if I may add also, if you have any questions, you feel free to hit me up on my social media. I will be glad to answer your questions.
Thanks, Afifi. Okay, if you have no more questions, I would like to invite Arun, who is our country manager for Ipsos Malaysia, to say a few words. Thanks, Arun.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Selena and Afifi. I know that, it is an excruciating experience, right? I think like once a lifetime experience if you go through this kind of, journey, right? And I know that though there are a lot of patients as such, not many people are comfortable sharing this experience, what they have gone through. And I think that's where you are making a difference for a lot of people, because you are sharing your experience. And I think some of the points that you have mentioned, Selena and Afifi, as in the sense that it's actually create a ripple, right? So even personally, I feel extremely comfortable after hearing and the photos and pictures and everything, the real pictures, than the fake ones or whatever that's out there, right? So it gives a lot of comfortability and confidence for the people, as such. And it's also personalized a lot of experience, as you were saying that, you know, it is going to, I never expected it is to be cold and you have to take the blankets and stuff, right? So that's, now I know that, okay, so I should be prepared for that. And those now the smaller things which makes your life much more easier when they are in the patient you know, at the, you know, quarantine center. But also the thing is that, you know, we expect a lot of good people when we go there. It's not like, you know, as like the when it's been welcomed, and like, you know, the people around you also going through the same thing. So it's a lot of sharing and experience as such, right? So that's something which is very relevant for us as well. As far as I understand from HR, we haven't had any cases within Ipsos so far, with around 500 place people. So we want to keep it that way, right?
That's great.
Keep it
That's
that way.
great. Yeah.
Keep it that way till the as such, but we don't know, right? Because it's like we are involving in different environments, and like, you know, if something happens for themselves or someone in the family, then it's important that we are fully informed and equipped to take the right steps in itself. And thank you for sharing the suggestions as a company what we can do, and it's also confirms with what Li Fong and HR has done in terms of, you know, swab test. We have already made it possible for all employees covered in Ipsos, so that's we know that it is very important that it is, you know, and post since we are part of the insurance coverage by AIA, so any treatment cost also is covered by that. So that's something which is, and it's also very important, I think, Selena, that you mentioned that, you know, after the COVID itself, we are not actually coming back to work from day one in the full capacity 100%, right? It's not like a regular fever or flu. So that's something that we also keep in mind to for our employees as such, you know, how it is, you know, we can help them and support them, right? But really appreciate it. And if you please do post more videos, and I'm sure that, you know, it will help a lot of people. And Selena as well, I believe that you are working with a news company.
Yes, yes.
So any news, you know, correct information that you can leave to people, it's also very helpful for each and every one of us. Thank you again for joining Ipsos. I know that most of you are, both of you are working, and but finding time for to share with Ipsos stuff, it's really appreciated. And thank you, Li Fong and Sufyan as well, you know, for arranging this session. Extremely useful for all of us.
Thank you so
Thank-
much for having us.
Thanks,
you.
Arun.
Thank you,
So
Selena.
before we end the session, there's another video that Afifi has done. Afifi actually has done quite a number of videos. So I'll share this last video. Before that, I'll again thanks as on behalf of Ipsos, thanks both Zalina and Afifi for spending time today. In fact, both of them are working. So you can see Zalina background, she's actually in the
In
office.
the office, yeah.
Yeah, well, Afifi asked for a 1 hour break from the companies to give this sharing session. So bottom from my heart, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us here.
So much, you guys.
Okay, so let's look at the video that Afifi has done. So thanks again. I wish everyone stay safe. And thanks a lot, Afifi and Zalina. So if you guys have any more questions, you can always reach out to Afifi via his Twitter account. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.